Meet Arnab Goswami.
Prove your facts right now. Prove it now. Prove it now. Prove it now. Right now. No, you prove it now. Prove it now, Gancham.
One of India's most influential yet controversial TV news anchors. Goswami hosts primetime debates backed by dramatic soundtracks and sensational visual effects.
This is the only news.
He's known for screaming at his guests
To keep interrupting like that, I've run out of patience with you.
and browbeating his opponents with emotional nationalism.
You are more dangerous to this country than Mao is terrorist.
His loud journalism contributes to the country's majoritarian outlook, which is being shaped by the ruling Hindu nationalist BJP. Goswami often makes wild pronouncements like India should wage a war against Pakistan and even randomly bursts into laughter on air.
I can't believe it.
Sometimes his guests fire back.
Go to Rajshekar and first. You liar.
For several years, his former primetime show The News Hour attracted the largest viewership in India, and many other journalists have started to imitate his style.
Are you a traitor?
We will question you also, Mr. Gauhar Gilani, and a coward like Yasin Malik.
You are exposed and you are out.
Earlier this year, Goswami emerged on a new platform called the Republic TV, which is mostly funded by a politician of the ruling BJP. The Republic is accused of being the party's mouthpiece, and Goswami's views on national issues align with the BJP's. Take the example of the Rohingya refugees in India. The BJP government describes them as a security threat and plans to deport them back to Myanmar. And even though the United Nations criticized India for being hostile toward the Rohingyas, journalists like Goswami are unmoved.
Are we the only dumping ground of the world? Why don't these Rohingyas go to Norway or to Sweden or to Switzerland?
Goswami supports the government's expulsion plans and has accused the persecuted minority of being linked to Daesh.
Is your heart bleeding for the Rohingyas because Rohingyas have a connection with ISIS?
Several news channels have followed his bait. His views on other issues are equally contentious. Instead of speaking truth to power, Goswami and his ilk seem to be speaking for just power.
Yeah, I take sides for the country. Not like
In this video, we strongly support justice for SSR and we try to show our viewers how media is crossing its limits, due to which justice is delayed and many innocents are suffering.
We try to show you how the media is above judiciary, how the anchors declare a person guilty of a charge arbitrarily. What if the person was you or your family? Let's stand together against this dictatorship.
Hello friends, so how are you all doing? Welcome to Legal Gyan. My name is Advocate Adnan and today we will be discussing about media trials and the impact of media trials on the actual delivery of justice. Now what is a media trial? A media trial is when the media, runs its own separate trial and depicts a person who is accused of committing an offense as to guilty of having committed that offense. That is a media trial, and the effects of media trial are very bad. And the effects and consequences of media trials is mob violence against the person who is accused of committing that offense. Now let me give you a few examples of what media trials are and the effects of such media trials. Okay, so a few years ago there was one guy in Delhi. He was riding a bike and there was a female who was it was a traffic signal, and he was riding a bike and he had stopped at the traffic signal, and there was a female, and the female clicked his photo and the female accused him of having committed sexual harassment against her. Now the media started depicting that person even before the trial began of that person in the courts of law. The media started depicting that person as to having committed sexual offense against the woman who accused him of committing that sexual offense. Now what happened was people started abusing that person on social media. People started giving names to that person, like people started calling him a pervert, etc. That guy lost his job. That guy, his entire reputation must have got spoiled. And what happened? It was later revealed that the accusation that woman put on him of sexual harassment was false. What happened was that the court later acquitted that guy of committing any sexual harassment against that woman. And now this is just one example of what media trials can do. That guy's entire reputation must have got spoiled because of what media trials did. What about the amount of psychological pain and sufferings that guy must have gone through because of the media accusing him of being a pervert. Apart from that, we have had several more cases of media trials in our country. A few years ago also, a particular news anchor, he allegedly ran a sting operation and accused one woman of who was a teacher of running a child sex racket. Okay, and when that teacher was taken to the court, when that teacher was taken to the investigation authorities office, a mob stripped her naked, a mob assaulted her, a mob humiliated her, and later it was revealed that that entire sting operation was a fake sting operation, and the court of law even acquitted that woman. Now what about the mental pain and sufferings that women must have undergone because of media trials? So media trials is an insult to our judiciary, because it is the job of our judiciary to deliver justice, and media trials do more harm than good. Now regarding Sushant Singh Rajput's case, let me tell you, Sushant Singh Rajput was my favorite actor too, and I wish justice is done to him, but I feel the media is doing more injustice to him than doing justice to him, because when a media runs its own trial, truth gets buried at times. Truth gets buried at times when the media runs its own parallel trial. And I also feel that the media is giving unnecessary importance to the accused of the SSR case. The media is unnecessarily giving importance to one particular celebrity who makes controversial statements. Now I don't know, I am not telling that whether that celebrity is right or whether that celebrity is wrong. I'm not taking side of the accused in SSR case. I'm telling you that the media is giving unnecessary importance. Our investigation agencies are doing its job. We have faith in our investigation agencies. Then why is the media running its own trial? The media should right now be more interested in talking about the rising unemployment in our country.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, मैं ईश्वर ठाकुर। आपने मुझे पहचाना होगा। भाभी जी घर पर मैं आता हूँ अनुराग के कैरेक्टर में। मैं कई ऐसे सीरियल में लोगों को हंसाता हूँ, रुलाता हूँ, सीरियस कॉमेडी दोनों रोल करता हूँ। भाई साहब, ये लॉकडाउन की वजह से, लॉकडाउन जब से है तब से घर में हूँ, शूटिंग में काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ और उसी वक्त बीमार हो गया हूँ मैं। ये किडनी की तकलीफ़, थायराइड की तकलीफ़ और ये पैर सूजन, सब कई तकलीफ़ों का सामना कर रहा हूँ। ये दवाई से जूझ रहा हूँ, दवाई से परेशान हो गया हूँ, दवाई खा के दोस्तों आपसे गुजारिश है, आपसे गिनती कर रहा हूँ, आपसे जो भी मदद होगा, जो भी सहकुशी से आप देंगे अपनी इच्छा शक्ति से, तो आप मदद कीजिए मेरे प्यारे दोस्तों। ये अनुराग का आपसे गुजारिश है। नमस्ते दोस्तों। और अनुराग आपको कभी भूलेगा नहीं, आप अपने तरफ से जो भी मदद करना इच्छा से मदद कीजिए दोस्तों, जरूर मदद कीजिए। Namaste, dosto.
The rising COVID-19 cases, the amount of the lives lost due to the lockdown, the lives destroyed due to the lockdown. Our media should be more focused on all those topics that are actually interesting us than talking all the time about the accused in the SSR case, all the time about that one particular actor who makes controversial statements. The media should not get into all that. The media should talk for the larger interests of the society and should focus on issues that concern us. But it seems that the media is not doing all of that, because the media just wants to divert our attention from falling onto the rising COVID cases, rising unemployment, lives lost and destroyed due to the lockdown, farmer suicides, and all those topics affecting us. So I just hope the media stops running these parallel trials by itself, because it does more injustice than good, and the media running its own trial is doing more injustice to the late Sushant Singh Rajput, because when the media runs its own trial, truth gets buried, because the media is not qualified to run its own trial. Let me tell you that there is one particular anchor. A few weeks ago, the state where he comes from, that state was literally devastated by floods. and it is, shameful on his side to, be busy discussing nepotism in Bollywood when the state where he comes from is being devastated from floods. So that makes it pretty evident that when the media is, diverting our attention from real life problems like unemployment, like the floods in his state in that case, like the destruction of lives due to the lockdown, falling GDP, deteriorating economy, by constantly playing stories that do not actually, affect our lives in any way. Those stories may interest us, those stories may, play with our sentiments, but those stories don't affect our lives. What is affecting our lives right now is the falling GDP, the deteriorating economy, the rising unemployment levels, the situation regarding COVID-19 right now in our country. That is what is affecting us directly. But the media, it seems that the media is not interested in discussing those topics because they want to divert our attention from those topics and want us, and the media is just playing with our sentiments, and I feel the media is doing more damage to us than good. I hope the media stops running its own trials, and I wish for justice to all, and thank you for watching. Please follow Legal Gyan. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.